for each dimension, there could be a 0 through 9, 0 through 9, 0 through 9, but each dimension could also contain its own negative dimension. And that's where that kind of like tide thing is, where I kind of describe dimensions as being almost like linear and vertical, where maybe that's where the difference kind of comes in, is that you have your linear, which is the ones that operate on your negative chain, and then the verticals come in with the different number sets, and then each one has their own negative universe that attaches to each universe as you go down the chain line of universes.
We're just in a big Rubik's Cube. The universe is a Rubik's Cube.
That's one way I've kind of described it, is imagine just like a bunch of cubes being attached to each other, and you have cubes that go, up, down, sideways, like each individual way. So each reality is its own individual cube. And again, maybe that one right directly underneath it is the negative, and then it goes back into a positive, then a negative, and it just keeps cubing out from there. And all of these universes are able to interact with ones that are touching its cube, and the ones on the next cube over are able to interact with the ones that are touching its cube. But it doesn't mean that the one that's on either side of that one in the middle is able to interact with that other one that's on the other side, because there isn't an equal point where they're touching and able to interact with each other. You'd have to almost get into another reality in order to make contact with that other reality.
Oh, that's crazy. Traveling into another reality to make contact with their... I bet it probably is like that. Like, traveling through worlds to get to other worlds, like...
And then, you break that down too, and you go into the idea of that the macro mirrors the micro. And that's almost kind of like how you could imagine how atoms stack on top of each other, because they're going up, down in each direction, and they interact with the ones that are closest, where they'll be swapping electrons back and forth with each other, but it's not able to interact with the one that's on the other side of that one, because they don't have an equal point where they're touching each other.
That's crazy. So it's almost like jumping through different like wormholes in a way to get to the one maybe that's why it's like a wormhole when they talk about this thing, because you kind of have to go to this you can't just direct jump. You have to, like you're saying, like loop through to get to that side. That makes sense, like with the
it's almost like being in a box and having one of those old cartoon like black holes that you got to throw it on the side of the box to walk through that box, but then when you get to the other side of that box, you need that hole again to slap it on that side so that you can get back through that side. And that's how the whole concept of portals work, is that it's not necessarily how we perceive it, that it's like when you bend a piece of paper in half and 2 points are able to touch. It's more so creating a hole in a wall between two different realities.
And that could also explain like some of these cryptid sightings and stuff. These things just get stuck in our reality when they were, whatever happened, they were trying to jump from one place, point A to point C, and we're the point B that these things get stranded in sometimes.
That makes sense too, because I've heard some stuff like that before, of like, entities kind of being like, oh yeah, we're not even from here, we're just passing through.
They're on their way to the dimension on the other side.
Yeah.